The screen flickers with a sudden burst of static, humming loudly in a quiet room, before clearing to reveal a healthy, smiling face. It's a VHS tape, playing a message recorded by a father, speaking directly to his daughter on her 18th birthday. But the girl watching the screen isn't 18. 17-year-old Mia sits alone in the dark of her apartment. Her face is illuminated only by the glow of the CRT, and the heavy silence of the room matches the weight of the isolation she's carried all day. There is a distinct psychological difference between being physically alone and feeling actively invisible. Physical isolation is simply an absence of people. Invisibility is the acute, stinging realization that the people who are present simply aren't seeing you. This tape, preserved like a time capsule, is a historical lifeline. It is colliding directly with a day where Mia has felt completely erased by the people she shares her life with. To understand her current state, we have to look at the 10 hours leading up to this moment. When Mia woke up earlier that morning, the first thing she checked was her phone. The screen was entirely blank. No notifications, no birthday texts, absolute digital silence. That silence stood in stark contrast to the noise downstairs. Her mother rushed out the door for a shift at work, and her older brother scrambled to leave for his college classes. In the rush of the morning routine, neither of them paused to acknowledge the date. The isolation compounded as the day went on. At school, teachers ran through their normal lessons, and friends casually discussed weekend plans. During lunch, Mia sat quietly as she watched another student receive balloons and cupcakes, surrounded by cheering friends. Milestones act as a mirror for our relationships. When expectations for a birthday go entirely unmet, they force a person to question their value to the group, turning a quiet morning into a crisis of self-worth. Returning to an empty apartment that evening, Mia found an object sitting quietly on a shelf. It was a dusty, retro camcorder box bearing a handwritten label, "For Mia, on her 18th birthday." This object carries significant weight. Mia's father passed away from cancer when she was only 10. The math here is obvious. She is 17, a year shy of the date written on the box. But standing in an empty room, overwhelmed by the day's silence, she chose to open it early. It was a decision driven by an immediate need for guidance. The tape acts as a targeted, preemptive intervention. Her father designed it specifically to bridge the gap of his absence. Through the static, her father's voice begins laying out a roadmap for emotional survival. His first piece of advice is direct. When someone breaks your heart, you must actively ensure they do not break your spirit along with it. He then instructs her to take pictures with her mother, even on the days she doesn't feel like it. It's a directive that immediately reframes the chaotic, rushed morning Mia had just experienced with her mom as something finite and valuable. Then comes the core mandate. He asks her to stop doubting herself, reminding her that she has always possessed more strength than she believed. As the tape plays, Mia's defensive walls begin to crack. The stoic face she maintained through the quiet morning and the lonely lunch period dissolves into tears, matched with a fragile smile. Mia is being parented in the present tense by a man who recorded these thoughts nearly a decade ago. That historical proof of deep, intentional consideration provides an exact antidote to her current pain. Knowing that someone thought about her future needs this carefully neutralizes the acute sting of feeling invisible today. Before the video ends, the father's tone shifts. He introduces a critical observation about how life actually operates. It moves incredibly fast. People will get overwhelmed, they will seem overly busy, and inevitably they will forget important dates. This conceptual matrix shows exactly what he means. Charting intent and affection against flawless execution reveals imperfect love. It sits high on affection, low on execution. Disorganized